to do in this show is to just break down copy and talk about copy, which is something I think there's not much. There's a lot out there, but there's also a lot of content that is more about how to become the greatest copywriter, how to get your first mm, your first client being a copywriter and that kind of stuff, how to make $10,000 a month being a copywriter. And there's a lot of people talking about the freelance business as a copywriter and not about how to write good copy, which is what I try to do in this channel. So today we are going to read this sales letter for the BioSwitch Advanced. I'm going to share the screen here. So this I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why it isn't showing the screen. I think I have to so share screen, and I think that's it. Start. Okay. Okay, so now I am sharing the screen. So this is it's all right, right? Okay, so this is a sales letter for the BioSwitch Advanced product. It's like a weight loss product. It's a weight loss supplement. I'm pretty sure that this sales letter was written by Stefan Georgi. I don't know how I know that. I think I maybe heard it in a podcast or something. If I am wrong, please someone correct me. But yeah, I think this was written by Stefan Georgi. And what I have here in this column at the right is a list of it's a checklist of all the elements that basically make a good sales letter. And every grade control that I've read so far and I studied contains these elements. And I'm going to just read the sales letter, and I'm going to go and I'm going to start to, I don't know why this is blue. Well, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to start checking these boxes, because these are all the elements that make a great sales letter, right? So if you want to write your own sales letter, you already know what are the elements that this sales letter need to have, right? What are the things that make a good sales letter? Oh, that made it. So yeah, so let's start. So the first thing you're going to see in this list, I hope everyone can read it because it's kind of small. I don't know if I can make it bigger, but yeah. So the first thing in this checklist is to promise a result or a solution, which is probably the main thing. The first thing you want to sell to that you want to mention, right? And this is exactly what this sales letter does here. It starts with how a humiliating high school reunion led one woman to discover the BioSwitch and drop 47 pounds of nagging fat effortlessly, right? So this is, even if it's not mentioning, like it's not saying this is a promise, you will drop, right? It's not explicit, right? But the promise is this: to drop 47 pounds of nagging fat effortlessly, right? That's the promise, and that is exactly what you want to do. You want to do it at the beginning of your sales letter or your website or your sales pitch or whatever you are using to sell, because that's what the people who are reading you are interested in, right? So so that's basically what you're going to put on the above the fold part of your website, or in the headline of your sales letter, And that's basically it, because that's what people care about, right? What you can do for them. And the other thing that it's doing in here in this headline is to tease this emotional story, like here, humiliating high school reunion led one woman to discover blah blah blah. And this is important because this is what draws to keep reading, right? If I tell you that you can drop 47 pounds of nagging fat effortlessly, well, that's a promise that a lot of people already hear, right? But if I tell you that I discovered this solution by having an humiliating experience at a party, well, you're going to want to know what was that humiliating experience, right? So we are going to check this box, which is the promise. You have to do a promise. You have to make a promise, and that's exactly what it's happening here. This miraculously simple solution is being used by hundreds of women across the country to melt the fat away, restore their slender body, and make their friends grin with envy. So this is the solution that you are going to. Well, it's still in the solution part, right? It's still the result or the solution. This is what you're going to get, right? You're going to uh, melt the fat away, restore the slender body, and make their friends grin with envy, right? So that's still in the promise or the result that you're going to get section of the sales letters. And these are all just elements. It doesn't mean that they have to follow this order specifically, but this is mostly what all this is the order basically that most sales letter follow. But still, it doesn't require new workout routines or expensive diets either. This is also, it could be like as part of the result, right? New workout routine or expensive diets. In fact, now you don't even need to leave the house to melt those extra clingy pounds. Hey, my name is Scarlett Peralta. So this is written from the point of view of one of the customers, right? Instead of using the authority figure like a doctor or something like that. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to tell you how. I think it's missing a word here. I'm going to tell you a humiliating true story about my 15th high school reunion. It was the moment I came face to face with the fact that I was 47 pounds overweight. So this is the color of the main problem, right? I'm going to put main problem here. And this is the problem, right? I was 47 pounds overweight and everyone could see it. This is a problem. And it's even, you could say that this section specifically is it's a part of the emotional pain points, right? Because pain points, how I divided it here is physical pain points, which is the things that you feel in your body. You feel tired, you feel without energy, you feel like you cannot concentrate or whatever you're feeling, right? A pain or whatever. And then you have the emotional pain points, which is how you feel. You feel frustrated, you feel humiliated, you feel like you cannot accomplish anything. So this specific line, I will put it in here in emotional pain points, right? But let's keep reading because there's more to it. Thankfully, it was hard to miss. My rolls of ugly belly fat were always slumped over each other. This is physical, right? Because it's describing how her body was physically, how she felt about it, right? It's creating a very clear image of what the problem was. So it's not. This is important to understand that it's not only mentioning the problem. It's also describing how that problem looks and feels. My neck had disappeared, swelled up in my flesh. This is also physical, right? And loose fat hung off my arms like it was trying to escape. Again, physical. But after that night, I couldn't keep lying to myself. Clothes I bought just a year before now pinched deep in my hips. They strain to hold everything ill. This is probably one of the this is physical, but it's also one of the failures. This is something I probably should have, because Stefan Georgi does this very really cool thing, which is using the failures, the daily failures, or the daily failures and the daily victories that people have. So this will be one of the failures, right? Clothes I just bought the year before now pinch deep into my hips. So this is a problem, yes, but it's a failure. It's something like shouldn't be happening, and it's like a battle that she is losing, right? She's losing right now, at this moment. So and I'm going to put here the victories, right? So yeah, this is one failure, right? Something, and I make the distinction here because it's not something that just look, this is how it looks like this line here, right? This is how it look like, how does it look. But here is how, what's the experience like, right? She wakes up every morning and she puts clothes that she bought the year before, and now they don't fit. Why? This is how it feels, and it feels like she's losing something, right? She's losing a battle. So that's one of the failures. There's probably more here. Every time I logged into Facebook, I see old pictures that reminded me of how I used to be. This is again one of the failures. It's one experience that could be, she could be winning or she could be losing, and now she's losing. She's failing at it. I reached my breaking point. Right then, I decided to lose my extra fat and restore the slender and sexy body I once had. And girl, I tell you, it was the best decision of my life because it sparked a desperate struggle to lose weight that led to the discovery of an incredible, unusual weight loss secret that anyone can use to cut pounds of ugly nagging fat with very little effort. So this is part of the promise, right? Of the solution. You could say it's one of the victories, right? But it's important to mention here that he's not only, even when he's talking about the problems, he quickly follows with like with the hope part of the sales letter, right? It's giving them hope, because if you only talk about the problems, people can get a bit discouraged, right? And feel down and feel and just feel bad, right? If you only talk about the problems. So every time you talk about the problems, he also follows up with this line that goes like, but all this pain helped me discover this solution, right? So let's keep reading. See, 3 months ago, this is maybe here starting, I think, the storytelling part. 3 months ago, this, I think, here I would say that here is where the lead ends, and here is starting the storytelling part, which is a quite short lead. If we take all of this as the lead, it's quite short, but I don't know if that's correct. That's what I can read. See, 3 months ago, I stepped into my high school reunion. It didn't take long before I got talking with old friends, and when I saw Sophie Baker, my old best friend, I was so excited to see her again. We used to do everything together. In fact, we even used to look like each other. Oh my, she looked great when she stepped into the hall that night. Uh, and I don't know, this list is a bit incomplete, but one of the most important things here that I would like to add is this thing about the seven sins, right? Seven sins, which are like, I don't know, lust, envy, greed, and rage, and all that stuff. Well, every sales letter contains that as an underlying feeling, right? It's not like, it's not explicitly saying, hey, I was envious of this person, but it's kind of implying it right here. We even used to look like each other, and now I'm fat and she is gorgeous, right? um, oh, and Mai, she looked great when she stepped into the hall that night. Sophie had barely changed since high school, right? This is selling, this is envy, basically. And and it's good to keep that in mind when writing copy, right? It's not something that you have to mention, but you have to have it in mind. And it's usually the 7 things are always in every letter, in every offer. There is at least one. There's probably more, like two or three. It depends on the offer, right? But most sales letter contain at least one. So yeah, she was still so beautiful, so slim, like I always remember. It didn't take long for someone to call her over. She said hello to everyone with a hug, and then she looked at me. I was grinning from ear to ear. I couldn't believe I was finally being reunited with my best friend. But what Sophie did next floored me. It humiliated me. Yes, it ultimately led to an incredible weight loss secret that can help melt away the unwanted fat without becoming a slave to exercise, diet, or counting calories. So even when he's telling the story, this is what I like about Stefan, because even when he's telling the story, he's constantly reminded you what you are going to find out, right? And this you got already or check this box, which is generate curiosity, right? Because it's constantly talking about this um ab- about this secret or this unique solution that you're about to discover, right? um and it's constantly reminding you that this is what you're going to learn, this is what you're going to find in this sales letter. And the other one that we could check is this that says common myths, because um the common myths or common solutions or all that stuff, it's something that you have to mention because you have to compare your solution with the other one. So if you are constantly building up uh, that that narrative that your solution is better than the common myths or the common solution, it's going to be great for your sales letter. So we had becoming a slave or counting calories, which is something that most people don't want to do. um, As soon as she looked at me, I knew something was wrong. The smile fell off their face, and she didn't try to hug me. Instead, she frowned like she was thinking. That's when I realized she didn't recognize me. I'm sorry, it's been so long, I don't remember your names, she said. My stomach dropped. I froze. Everyone was looking at me. How could she forget her old best friend? Then it hit me. I was carrying an extra 47 pounds in high school. Again, we mentioned the main problem. She didn't have a clue who I was, and even though no one said it, I knew that everyone must have been thinking she let herself go. And this is maybe from the emotional pain points, right? Because she, even though no one is seeing this, she believes or she thinks that everyone is like laughing at her back, right? So I ran out of the hall and locked myself in the nearest bedroom stall. Tears were already streaming down my face. I looked down and saw my stomach popping through my dress. Heck, I could grab a handful of it if I wanted. This is again how it looked like physically, right? This is the physical pain points. I couldn't ignore it anymore. Uh, I wasn't the same slender, attractive girl that left high school. In fact, I wasn't just overweight, I had an extra 47 pounds of disgusting fat hanging on my body. In that moment, I remember how I'd always avoid looking at myself naked in the mirror after a shower. This is again what I mentioned. It's like telling. This is one of the failures, right here, and it's like telling their day-to-day lives, right? Their experiences in day-to-day life, and how awful it feels, and how it feels like they are losing, like they are it's a bad experience, right? It's a failure. Always wear baggy t-shirts and big jeans to cover up the body I was so ashamed of, right? This is emotional pain points with the failures, right? It's a combination. For the past few years, I never even looked closely enough to see my skin stretching around my belly button, desperately trying to hold the fat in. The inflated chin that wrapped around my neck like a thick scarf in winter. So this is very, it's going very hard in the physical aspect, and I think that's something good because this is a very competitive market, this weight loss market. So if you only talk about, hey, do you want to lose fat, it's kind of it's going to kind of get lost in a sea of weight loss offer. But if you say, hey, I will help you lose 20 pounds of fat thanks to this secret thing that I discovered, that's going to be more appealing, right, to people. And the other, if you also uh, clearly, explicitly tell them how you will look like, how you were suffering from this, what were your failures, right, and your problems. It's going to keep you reading, right, because it's going to make people think, oh, this person is suffering the same pain that I am. She knows what she's going through. She knows what I'm going through, right? And this is basically something that you get from the research stage of writing the sales letter. This is something that you are going to discover by deep diving into forums and Reddit and all that stuff. This is how people feel, and you have to mention it. If you are not the one suffering the problem, you have to really go deep with your research, because this is what's going to make the difference, right? And it's exactly what Stefan is doing in this sales letter. I was ignored the faults of loose flesh hanging off my arms, even when they sent ripples to the rest of my body when I move. And it's quite graphic with what he's saying. Of course, I knew I'd gaining a couple of pounds per year since high school. I think this is a great line because it's something that every person goes through, right? And they think about it. Oh yeah, I'm not the same when I was in high school, but this person at least reached that tipping point, right, where she can ignore this problem anymore. I mean, having we all, it's hard to stay in shape with 2 kids and a part-time job. I just didn't realize how much it add up. You know how it is. Back in our 20s, we could just skip dessert and lose 7 pounds in a week. Now it feels like you're hopeless. Again, the nagging fat that keeps spilling onto your body. And when you get to your 30s, it feels like you put on weight even faster. So I really like all this because it's the, let me see, it's the qualifiers. I don't know where it is. Qualifiers. So it's basically qualifying the reader so they know that they're in the same in the right page, right? How we all, it's hard to stay in shape with 2 kids and a part-time job. This is one. It's talking about the author of the sales letter, yes, but it's actually talking about the reader, right? Because if you are if you have 2 kids and a part-time job or a full-time job, you're gonna say, hey, this person knows what I'm going through. And if you also experience this thing about gaining a couple of pounds every year after high school, yeah, that's a qualifier, right? You're basically saying the reader, hey, you are in the right place here. And this experience, I mean, this experience, it's also very good um, to qualify people. I tried every fat diet and trendy exercise, slim fat, Atkins, juicing, keto, Weight Watchers, Zumba, kickboxing, Pilates. I'd lose some weight, but as soon as I stopped the intense hours of exercise and calorie counting, the weight will just pile on again. This is one of the failures, and it's also following this. Let me see, common solutions suck, right? Oh, so yeah, something I miss here is storytelling part. It's using storytelling. Not every sales letter has to use storytelling, but it's good when they do. The trigger event, it also has the trigger event, which is the one we mentioned earlier, right? Where she she encountered her friend from high school and she didn't recognize her, right? That's the trigger event. And the traditional advice not working, it's this, right? She tried every diet and trendy exercise, and she tried intense hours of exercise and in calorie counting, and the weight just piled on again. This is the common solution suck and the traditional advice not working section. So not to mention the other parts, or being overweight you don't expect. For the last few years, I just ignore my bulging belly, sagging arm fat and legs. Not to mention the other parts of being overweight you don't expect. The intense food cravings and rabid appetite that haunt you around the clock. Heavy tired eyes by lunchtime because you spent the night tossing and turning. Feeling unenergized, like you're being weighed down by a truck every day. Because brain fog lingers every part of your day. So this is, again, these are the failures, right? Daily failures, how they feel, physical pain points, emotional pain points, uh, how they feel, and that kind of stuff. The aches in the pain and ankles, back as your bones scream out from years of being crushed by too much weight, and buried all in the back of my mind. I buried all in the back of my mind, but when Sophie saw me and didn't even recognize me, it hit me all at once. I was miserable, right? This is the trigger event. Sophie and I looked like the twins in high school. Why is she still so perfect? So so I think that I'm not missing anything, right? She didn't have a bulging stomach. She didn't wear baggy clothes to hide everything, and she never had the shame of knowing that everyone you see thinks you let yourself go. Sophie was still the slender girl that left high school 15 years ago. Sure, you could tell she was now in her mid-30s, but with her slim body, she was beautiful. She looked so young. It wasn't just Sophie who looked great that night either. One of our other friends, Elizabeth, had always been a little chubby back in high school. I remember some of the boys even picking on her, and yet she looked incredible now, even after 3 kids. While another friend, Jamie, must have lost 30 pounds herself, she looked amazing. I couldn't believe it. I was once the slim and attractive girl that men used to fall over themselves to help out and flirt with. Now I just felt invisible, right? This is I've written some weight loss offers, and in the when you research the weight loss market, this is something that you find all the time, that women, when they are overweight, they just feel invisible, that men don't even look at them. As soon as I got home that same evening, I collapsed into my husband's arms, crying. My voice quivered, my body was shaking, and my sleep was soaking wet from the tears I mopped up. I explained what happened, desperate for him to tell me I was still the hot girl he fell in love with. He replied, "I love you because of who you are on the inside." It hurt, but it wasn't his fault. He just told me the truth, blah blah blah. So I'm going to skip this part. I was going to find a way to fight back against my excess hanging fat and finally lose the weight for good. So next time my old friends will be jealous of me. Again, we are here in the pride. This is pride, right? Pride, because she has pride in body, and slash envy, right? Because she is envy right now and she wants everyone to be envy of her. Envious. I knew it was possible, blah blah blah. We all got a friend like Sophie who looks amazing even with 2 kids and a busy job. If it's possible for her, it's possible for us. So I threw myself at losing weight. I signed up for gym membership and work my butt off. So this is the common solution suck, right? Only drank water. And just a week later I lost 5 pounds. So I was so motivated and happy, but it didn't last long. Because that's when my weight loss journey became to a screeching halt. Even if I work out more and cut more calories, the scale wouldn't budge. Wouldn't budge. I was literally working out every single morning for 2 hours, jogging treadmills, using elliptical and lifting weights. It was hard and it wasn't working. So again, common solutions suck. It's been basically making that comparison between the common solution that you may try right now and how it didn't work for her. I'm going to skip. Uh, I'm going to skip this because we already know the. It's talking about supplements, right? Weight loss magazines, fat burning supplements, green coffee, blah blah blah. It's talking about all these other solutions that don't work, right? Had one final chance. I had one final chance to discover the secret. I had to talk soft. Uh, so I'm going to skip this part. Basically, what happens here is she calls her friend and she tells them that there is a doctor that can help her, right? And this is this guy. Yet Sophie's fat began to melt away when she discovered the BioSwitch. We are teasing here the unique mechanism, right? Unique mechanism. It's one. It's something that every offer should have, in my opinion. And I really like this is the unique mechanism. How I use it, it's basically how Stefan Georgi uses it, which is you have the unique mechanism of the problem, which is basically the reason why none of the other solutions that you may have tried up until now work, and the unique mechanism of the solution, which is why this solution will work, because it has this secret, because it has this ingredient, or because it uses this method, or whatever you say. And you basically have those are the two parts, right? You have the unique mechanism of the problem, which is why other solutions didn't work so far, and the unique mechanism of the problem, which is the mechanism of the solution, right? Which is this is why this solution is going to work for you. Sophie, so this is the introduction of the authority figure, right? Um, Authority figure. She told me that Dr. Selling has spent the last 20 years establishing more than 100 of the largest natural health clinics across America. Of course, I was skeptical at first, but Sophie told me that Dr. Selling is not like other so-called experts. She said that this is, I don't really, I really want to jump into other parts, because she's just talking about this doctor's, it's building the value of this authority, which is, I don't know if this guy really exists. I don't think it does, but maybe he exists. I don't know. I didn't do my research here, but yeah, he's basically building the authority of this guy. And this part is important because it's talking about science, right, and scientific research and scientific studies. So he told me and it's basically starting the here. It's where the unique mechanism of the problem starts, right here. Suddenly he began to talking very excitedly. He told me that while the human body is incredibly complex, really there were just two organs that I needed to know about. The first is the one you're probably familiar with, the thyroid. He explained that the thyroid controls your metabolism, and when it slows down, it becomes really hard to burn fat. So this is the unique mechanism of the problem, right? Unique mechanism of the problem. This is why you're gaining weight, because the thyroid controls your metabolism, and when it slows down, it becomes really hard to burn fat. But that's half of the story. He told me the adrenal glands are just as important. They are like walnut-sized triangles, and they sit atop your both of your kidneys. He explained that they are responsible for releasing a group of hormones called glucocorticoids, and his incredible discovery became when Stanford School of Medicine studied these hormones will lead to an enormous amount of weight gain in some folks, right? And we are introducing here Stanford School of Medicine, which is one credibility builder, right? We have scientific studies, right? And names and that kind of stuff. Um, so yeah, this guy, this discovers this. The more glucocorticoids circulating around your body, the more weight you gain, which means your waist adds yet another inch. Blah blah blah. I almost fell off my chair when he told me, "Can you imagine how easy weight loss would be if you could literally flick a switch and outright stop the production of your fat cells?" And this is basically the I don't know if it counts if I would count it as the unique mechanism of the solution, but uh, it's there, right? It's we are getting close. You will need to cut carbs, watch every calorie, do whatever the latest fat diet is selling. You wouldn't need to almost kill yourself every morning on the treadmill. You could just flip the switch and watch the faults melt off your body. Except this Stanford research came out in 2018, 3 years ago, and women and men across America are still struggling with the shame of trying to lose weight while seeing no change on the scale. That's why Dr. Stealing is so important. He told me he had to go one step further to really unlock the fat burning potential of the Stanford research hinted at. And that's exactly how he discovered the BioSwitch that so many folks are already raving about. See, the doctor decided to take a closer look at the glucocorticoids in the study so he could understand why this research wasn't being repeated in the real world. Conclusion time to so basically what he's doing here is explaining the science. I don't want to read all of this because it becomes the shows become too long and they're kind of hard to watch. But yeah, basically what he's doing here is explaining what the unique mechanism of the problem is and what the unique mechanism of the solution. So basically, you can you can um, you can make a recap of the product, right, of the solution. You basically can make a recap of the solution. I don't know if anyone heard that. So so yeah, it's basically explaining why you're gaining fat and why what's the solution, right? There is hope. You see, this is basically this was the unique mechanism behind the problem, which is cortisol. It's making your body produce an hormone that makes you fat, blah blah blah. And this is solution, right? You simply flip the bio switch and watch as the fat start to melt off your body. I sat there stunned. The doctor had just told me the other half of the story. It wasn't just about your thyroid. Cortisol was the real and undeniable reason why my metabolism was so low and why I couldn't lose weight no matter what. So this is basically the unique mechanism, right, of the problem. How do I flip the bio switch, doctor? Blah blah blah. I'm going to jump to the unique mechanism of the solution, which is I was expecting him to say I needed antidepressants to fight back, but understanding it was much easier. He spent more researching precisely how to flip the switch. In fact, he says he's the only person to have ever done this research. I want to find out one of these plans. So this is the unique mechanism of the solution, right? Here starts with we found one of these plants that has amazing results. He has the extract from it, and you can use it to lose weight, basically. And here are more qualifiers, which we talked about earlier here. These are about qualifying the customers, let them know that they're in the right place. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how stressed you are in day-to-day life. It doesn't even matter how much unwanted fat you want to lose. These are just basically qualifying people and letting them know that they are in the right place. You simply take a few drops of this liquid per day to flick your bio switch, and you see your nagging fat begin to disappear. This could be, well, no, let's just keep reading. So what happens here is she tries the offer. She tries this extract, right, and she starts to lose weight every day. It talks about this is basically the victories, right? The victories part. Just a month after I took control of my bio switch, I was down to 20 pounds. Girl, I wouldn't have believed if I couldn't see the changes happening with my own eyes. My bulging belly was disappearing. My jeans were no longer straining to hold everything in, and my face looked tired and more youthful than it had at least a decade. So here is talking about the victories. That's one of the parts of the sales. And it keeps talking, right, about the victories and the results that she was getting. So I'm going to skip this because I just want to explore the elements, right? I just want to explore what are the elements that the sales elements that they use, not like explicitly reading the copy. I'm not a special case. Women all over the country are seeing the same wonderful weight loss I have. And if you are wondering, the droplets flick your bio switch with zero negative side effects, plus anyone can afford it. Best of all, it works for everyone. This is something I maybe should have to add in here, which is basically saying that there is no side effects, right? This is not dangerous for you, which is maybe one of the I don't know if complaints, but maybe yeah, maybe one of the concerns that people may have when buying anything, right? Okay, the BioSwitch breakthrough is backed by rigorous scientific evidence. See, Dr. Sarnes had spent months researching his secret to understand exactly why it's so powerful, and he's given me permission to share the official studies with you today. Blah blah blah. We have basically the scientific studies, right? It's here is detailing the studies. One randomized double-blind placebo-controlled clinical trial. Basically, it's telling you that the credibility part, right? The scientific studies. That's what they are doing. This section. Let's find the next element. Again, this is the solution, right? That we are promising. It's constantly saying, constantly reminding you what is the result you're going to get, or what is the promise that you're going to get. So basically, the guy is send this woman an email that said, she sent the doctor an email. So I looked in the mirror and I could barely recognize myself. Instead of seeing an overweight, happy person, I saw a beautiful, slender woman. This is, again, what are the victories? What is that she are going to get at the end of the journey, right? I feel so happy. I almost cried. I want everyone to feel this way because we should all love ourselves. How can we make this available to every woman in America? He called me just 20 minutes later. I could hear the excitement in his voice. He told me he'd never thought of offering his formula outside his clinic, but he wanted to, which is why now you can get your hands on the BioSwitch breakthrough at a price anyone can afford. So if you let me, I'd like to tell you about introducing the only BioSwitch formula. I don't know why it says the only. Maybe they have some competition or someone it's like stealing. So, okay, as we said, unique mechanism of the solution, we already have it, and this is the product reveal. What we are going to have here is basically what's inside, probably. I'm going to put this product reveal and what's inside. What are the ingredients? What are the modules in case it's an online course? What are the lessons? Blah, blah, blah. So this is the BioSwitch. This is product introduction. Let me tell you, they're actually from my heart. Blah blah blah. If you want to start dropping pounds of fat fast, this is basically, again, what are the characteristics? What's inside? Let's talk about this. Is we already have the the promise, right, and the emotional storytelling and that kind of stuff. And now we talk about the product, and we start talking about the benefit of the product, right? Um, you'll see a difference just a day from now, no matter your age, your weight, or what you tried before. Bottom line, this will work for you. In fact, it's the first thing you'll notice. Is blah blah. So what I want to see is comparison with alternatives. We kind of already had it with when we were talking about the drugs. Well, maybe it didn't talk about drugs, but it talked about surgery and 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 going to the gym and trying other diets and that kind of stuff. BioSwitch is just the foundation. This weight loss formula is packed with 14 more incredible fat erasing nutrients, right? So this is the what's inside, the ingredients, right? Basically, we have ingredients in this one. He wants to make it even more powerful before it was made available to every person in America. So he and the team at Science Natural Supplements began experiment with other nutrients, blah, blah, blah. The first incredible bonus nutrient is one of my favorites. It's called blah, 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 basically detailing this ingredient, right? And using scientific research to tell you how good it is this. Second bonus, BioSwitch. This is like, I don't think it comes here as a bonus because I have bonuses here. I'm going to click it because simply because it says bonus here, but I don't really consider the ingredients bonuses. If this product came with a guide on how to lose weight, or a nutrition plan, or a book, or a PDF, or something added right to this, some other product added to this offer, that would be a bonus. So I don't really consider this a bonus. Next to bonus. So what I'm not going to read all this. 12 more BioSwitch nutrients, blah blah blah. With the BioSwitch breakthrough and the 14 other potent nutrients you've seen, you can finally drop pounds quickly. And this is the close. This is the closing paragraph, because here is actually I think it's going to yes, the call to action comes right after that. So this is the closing paragraph, which is not in closing, but okay. And it's basically telling you this, you have to make a decision. You can keep doing what you've been doing so far, or you can actually try this and start losing weight, right? That's basically the gist of this part. Now you've seen how I lose so much fat without dieting, calorie content, or intense workouts. And you've seen the proven science behind every ingredient. So let me ask you a question. What will you see when you look in the mirror a month from now, right? This is again, you have to make a decision. You can do this, or you can keep doing what you've been doing. I want us to be as honest and truthful as possible. So I need to tell you, it will break my heart to see you miss out on this opportunity, because the truth is, if you don't get your hands on BioSwitch Advanced today, then I'm not sure what would change. With each month that goes by, you could still be a prisoner to unlock excess fat. So this is basically here, consequences of not fixing this problem. This, maybe I should put it here in the closing paragraph. But yeah, and it's detailing what are the consequences, right, of not fixing this right now. Still look down and see your bulging stomach, and you may always look back at your old Facebook pictures wishing you were the same slender woman. Your arms and legs could balloon even more until you can wear your favorite blues or pants, blah blah blah. It doesn't need to be like this. You can wow your friends, blah blah blah, if you take action now. 137 bottles left. I think this is BS. this is bullshit. I don't really think that there is 137 bottles, but it falls in the scarcity, right? Scarcity and urgency are two different things. I think some copywriters confuse those two. Urgency and is when you say, hey, this is going to happen, so you have to take action now, which is the paragraph we were reading before, right? If you don't take action now, this will be your life, right? And maybe you can see it in a prepper survival niche, which is, hey, there is a major world crisis coming, and if you don't take action right now, you and your whole family could be in danger, right? Or another industry that you can maybe see this is in the financial publishing industry. Hey, there's this small company that you can invest in right now, but you have to do it today because in maybe 1 week the shares of this company will go up, and you will be missing on millions of gains or whatever, right? So it's kind of hard to manufacture urgency if you don't have anything. I think it's well done in here. Like, if you don't take action now, this is how your life is going to look like, because you cannot use like a major crisis or anything like that, like in other niches, right? So take action now. This is again, scarcity. There's only a few of this product. You have a 100% money back guarantee. And let's see the science supplements, 180 days. This is cool. Okay. What else? You risk nothing but try and buy a Switch Advanced. Okay, this is something that I think I could add here, because risk removal. Or it kind of falls into the guarantee part, that you're basically saying that you can buy this and try it, and you won't lose anything, right? You won't lose money, because you can ask your money back and everything will be okay. So let's see. Testimonials. We don't have testimonials in this page, which is kind of weird, because I've seen other things that Stefan Georgi has written, and he uses a lot of testimonials. So what are the things that we are missing here? The 7 things, yeah, we have envy. So we have basically, we cover all the bases for a good sales letter. I've seen this promoted a lot in various health newsletters and email lists. So I think it's doing quite good. We have all these checkboxes, right? Let's see. Fascinations. I think I haven't seen. I'm going to check it, because we are constantly. He's constantly using fascinations, in the sense that you have, for example, let's see. Right, this is fascination. A desperate struggle to lose weight that led to the discovery of an incredible, unusual weight loss secret that anyone can use to cut pounds of ugly nagging fat with very little effort. It's not a fascination in the sense that it's not a bullet point, but it's still a fascination. And this one is another fascination. But what Sophie did next for me, it humiliated me, yes, ultimately led to an incredible weight loss secret that can help melt away unwanted fat without becoming a slave to exercising, dieting, or counting calories, right? This is a fascination. This makes you want to keep reading. It's not in fascination format, let's say. It's not in bullet point format. Those sales letters that you have like 1,000 bullet points, one below the other. But in my opinion, those still count as fascination, and think curiosity builders, right? So let's say it doesn't have testimonials. I don't know why. So I don't know if we can maybe put it in red because it doesn't have them. Famous people using this. It's most sales letters don't use it, so I don't really care. Let's see, comparison with alternatives. It doesn't have a clear place or a list. Maybe I skipped it, but it doesn't have a part where it's kind of doing the math, right? It's constantly making the comparison with trying different diets and trying different things, right? But it's not making the comparison of saying, hey, if you buy a membership, a gym membership, this is what it's going to cost. Compare with this, that it costs less money, right? And it's not making a comparison of time, which it's like what it will be like, hey, if you try this solution, you're going to it's going to take 2 or 3 years to lose all those pounds, but if you try my solution, you're going to do it faster and easier. And the quality, maybe it's something that it mentions in the sense that it says that it's completely compliant with GMP safety standards, no artificial fillers, no overpowering tests, right? That's kind of a quality thing, but I'm still not going to, I mean, the elements are still here, right? They are not explicit, but they're still here. Let's see how to use the product. It's here in this part. So let's read. It's basically telling you in 7 days of use, your friends will know the difference. But it also it's in the part that she is mentioning how she started using this this product, right? So the part that says how to use the product, you have to tell people how to use your product because you don't want to have any doubts, right? So I opened the bottle in my dining room table and squeezed the tube to soak up a droplet. Just from the scent, you can tell there were no fillers or cheap ingredients. I lifted out my tongue and squeezed a droplet out. Blah, blah, blah. So that's basically how you use it, right? You put it in, you eat it, right? Or you drink it because it's an extract, or I don't know what. So I think that's about it. How to use the product. Urgency, it doesn't have well, it has that paragraph, so I'm going to check it. Price justification, do the math for them. I don't know if it has a paragraph about that. If it knowing how Stefan Georgi writes, if it has something like that, it's right below the first or second call to action. So let's read. So maybe you can count this as the price justification, right? I work with Dr. Selling to make it as easy as possible to get the full weight loss power from BioSwitch Advanced. When you order today, you have the choice of a 1 month, 3 month, or 6 month supply. Of course, you're welcome to choose any option, but I persuaded the doctor to give you a bigger discount by securing your 6 month supply. That's because I want you to experience the best results possible. You won't be enrolled on an automatic billing subscription, and you're covered by a 180-day money-back guarantee. Click the Add to Cart button below to check a page, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, it has a price justification. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not going to count that as a price justification, because price justification to me is like saying, hey, this is the code, that this is what other products are being sold to, or this is a price of other products, this is the price of this product, this is the price of membership, this is the price of blah blah blah, and making the math for them, right? Is making the It's basically telling them how much they are saving and that kind of stuff. It doesn't has a lot of that uh, in this sales letter. It doesn't mean that it doesn't has it at all, but it's like not so strong as other aspects. So I'm not going to take it in account. And bonuses, again, it doesn't have bonuses because I don't consider ingredients bonuses. But yeah, that's about it. This is a great sales letter. It's doing very well for what I can understand. So I think the strongest part of this sales letter is the storytelling part and the a unique mechanism problem part, because it clearly explains a lot about the thyroid and why is people gaining weight and that kind of stuff. So well, that's about it with this sales letter. I hope you like it and subscribe if you want, or not. I don't know. I don't care. But yeah, that's it. And I will see you this. Today's Tuesday. I will see you this Friday. I'm going to start a new series that it's going to be the Fridays, and it's going to be about the Gary Halbert newsletter, which is I'm just going to read the newsletter every Friday. I'm not going to read the whole newsletter, but I'm just going to take some paragraphs, and what I want to do is those newsletter were published in like 1980, I think, or maybe 1993, and I want to just read those so I can like see what we can use, what advice we can use from those newsletter and use it in today, like 40 years after they were published, right? So this is a new series that it's going to start on Friday, this Friday at the same time. And I hope you like this, and I see you soon. Bye bye.